Alright, so I'm making this video for a couple of reasons. One, because I feel I've been treated unfairly personally, but besides that, the bigger thing is honestly, this is inexcusable. Um, this organization has promoted hate speech, and I tried to intervene and stop it, and was just none of it, right? So specifically, here are some DMs I have. Sweeping what underneath the rug? This is from the leader, Sky. You claim this without showcasing valid proof of the matter. I will showcase otherwise in this video. Then threatened us to drop a member of your team due to this. I will get to that a little bit too. We investigated the situation and did our best to resolve it. This is also blatantly untrue, and I will get around to that. Uh, you are open to post about anything you like, but no, I will be bringing my lawyer to any defamation you add to our name, because there hasn't been a single member of our staff that promoted hate. So, a bit of truth there. The staff did not promote hate. However, I would argue that they promoted hate by proxy, which is knowing that it went on and not doing anything about it. If you have a member of your org that is promoting it, even if a staff member isn't doing it, and you don't do anything to resolve it, like they said they did, then I would say that by proxy you are guilty, even if you yourself specifically have not promoted hate. Hope you have a great day. Well, I didn't want to make this video today, but here we are. So, who am I? I'm Elite Forniku. I used to be a volunteer at Riot Games. I probably should have proof of that, but anyways, I didn't have that prepared for this video, sorry. But I used to be, I was an unpaid volunteer contracted by them. I had an NDA and all that stuff. I've since moved on to Pokemon Unite because I wanted a non-toxic community and because League of Legends is notoriously toxic. I do not promote hate speech. I don't want hate speech. Other than that, I'm fairly open on what people can talk about. I like having a public discourse, and I like having people who have conflicting opinions. I have leadership background from training in the Boy Scouts of America. I have leadership, use me, background from other places as well, and overall, I know what it takes to take charge and lead a team, and being a good leader means hearing everyone out, means hearing people with different views, and trying to do what's best for the group as a whole. But what was done here was not. So I want to go over a few things. First off, I made accusations of hate speech, and I want to go over that. And so it was a particular member of the team, Charles, right? Uh, so, um, so Charles, let me see here. So I have a support ticket. Sorry. So before the support ticket, so let's go over a chat that happened on Monday of this month. This was of this week. Sorry, this was the 19th of December. So here we can see this was our TA chat. I said basically multiple people had been talking and basically saying, hey, they couldn't make it for practice tonight, and I said, look, I made an executive decision. We have too many people out tonight, so hey, just take it easy, have a good day off. And Charles says Andrew Tate makes the best content, and I was like, tilted my head, like, wait, what? And I'm like, okay, this is a troll post. And I'm just like, no. And I'm like, fun fact, one of my friends knew him IRL. And I said, I'm not kidding, blah, blah. And he says, oh, they're great people. The more I watch them, the better it gets. And I'm like, yeah, I want to troll and agree. But he's like, why do you think he's awful? So I'm like, okay. So I go and explain. And by the way, this video is not all about Tate. It's more than just that, but I'll get to that. But it's some of it, not all of it. Anyways, Tate has done a lot of things. You can look it up, like scamming people. He had to flee to another country. There are some discrepancies of whether it was by choice or by fleeing. Um, just to put that out there for the record. He's extremely misogynistic. His father was more so. Um, he's been extremely abusive. Some of the quotes that he does is he has said things such as, I know how to administer CPR, but if you're not a hot female, I'm not going to administer CPR. First off, when you administer CPR, this from Boy Scouts of America, you're not supposed to do lip to lip. You're supposed to use a mouth covering. You're not kissing the person. You're trying to bring them back to life. So saying, oh, you're a hot female so I can make out with you while you're unconscious while I'm trying to bring you back to life is, uh, yeah, that's what we call SA, right? So another, and then just all sorts of really stuff. Then he also says, I think a lot of men. So first off, so Charles is supporting Andrew Tate, who is a very known misogynistic person, and basically most of what he rants about is that. So, and he does nothing. He does nothing in this chat to say otherwise. Now, that doesn't mean that Charles is misogynistic, but he is promoting a misogynistic feature. Now, I do want to be person. Now, I do want to be clear. I am not saying Charles here is a misogynist himself. I am saying he is promoting a misogynistic figure, and he is promoting what he is saying, which could imply that, but does not mean he is. However, promoting such a figure in an esports organization is not appropriate. I think most people would argue that in an esports organization, it is not the time or place to talk about such a controversial figure. And I'll get to more on that in a bit. Now, besides that, um, let's see here. So I put a lot more quotes here. You can pause the video and read it, whatever. But anyways, he says, seems like you're trying to suppress me because you can't agree with him. So I want to make this clear. I don't care if people disagree with me. That's perfectly fine, right? I think it was Thomas Jefferson who says, I will, even if you disagree with me or something, I will defend your right to say it, right? Or something like that, right? Along those lines. I'm all for freedom of speech. I'm all for we have opposing viewpoints, but you can speak your end, right? I love hearing people their views out. But there's a time and a place for everything, and an esports organization and a gaming organization, specifically in a field, in an area where a lot of women are afraid to even reveal that they're women or feel uncomfortable or whatever, is really not the place to be talking about such a controversial figure. And on top of that, a bigger thing that I tried to make clear with the staff is that sponsors want nothing to do with him because he's banned on all social media platforms. So if someone was to talk to me and say, hey, I think Musk is a genius, and I said, hey, I think Musk is an idiot, I don't really care, right? Because Musk is not banned on every single social media platform. When you have someone who's banned on every single social media platform, it doesn't look good for sponsors, and sponsors want nothing to do with you. So at this point, anyone in the esports staff, if they were paying attention to the chat, should have just came in and said, hey, no, stop it. We're not talking about a publicly banned figure because sponsors want nothing to do with this, which is true. Sponsors want nothing to do. It looks bad for advertising. It looks bad for brand deals if you are promoting someone who is banned on Twitter, banned on YouTube, banned on every single well-known big social media platform. So anyways, so he says, you're trying to suppress me because you don't agree with him. No. And I said, I'm trying to make a safe environment for women. Also that. He says, did I hurt women? And no, look, this is straw manning. This is getting off topic. This is trying to play around and basic. I'm not sure if he's trying to play dumb here or if he's trying to make a point of, hey, I'm not whatever. But I think he's trying to say he is not being abusive, right? Which he is not. But promoting a figure who does that, probably not the place for it, right? So I said, look, I'm not going to tolerate any more talk of it. I said, this is only going to cause issues. Hey, it did. I said, nothing good will come out of it. Drop it. I said, I don't want anyone feeling uncomfortable. You'll bring it up. This should be the last of it. If someone who is, I was a team captain, if a team captain says, hey, let's not talk about something this controversial that can make people feel unsafe, probably just drop it, right? Probably a good idea. Most people would agree with that. I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm not saying it to suppress people. I'm not saying it or any of that. I'm saying that because I want people to feel comfortable, and I'm saying that because this looks bad for sponsorships, right? It looks bad for the company as a whole. It's not something you want to associate a company with. If you want to individual, that's your own thing. Now, anyways, he said, did someone complain? Drop it, move on. I thought we were having a peaceful discussion. So this right here is something that I don't, this is going to be a little personal diatribe, but I don't like it when people play stupid. If someone is smart, right, I don't want them pretending to be dumb because it means, like, if you're pretending to be dumb, it's usually done for deception, or it's usually done to egg people on or manipulation, right? So I was trying to say I thought we were having a peaceful discussion, like when I was saying, hey, no more bringing it up. This is making people uncomfortable. Drop it. How you come to this conclusion as a smart individual, which I know he is unacceptable, right? Like this is right. So I said, look, but I indulged him. I said, considering how massively controversial he is, hated, how he's banned, you know, just don't bring him up, right? He said, I want to talk about something, I will. So this is blatantly disrespecting a captain, right? I'm in an officer position. I am not in a staff member position of the esports org, but underneath I am a captain, right? And so this is blatantly disrespecting. Captain says, hey, knock it off. This is looking bad for the company. Who's looking out for the company? I'm looking out for the company, right? He says, I'm being peaceful. You're acting like an ass out of nowhere. It's not out of nowhere with no one complaining. I am. I said, you have freedom of speech, but just don't talk about it here. Has no place. And then he's cussing me out right here. He says, no, shut the fuck up. He's cussing me out right here, right? Don't talk with me till Thursday. You got too much drama. So he's telling a captain, right, to not talk with him and cussing him out. So this is, I said that's inexcusable, which it is. This is inexcusable behavior, right? And I said, hey, don't cuss me out. That's not okay. Okay, so I brought this up to the esports org founder, Sky. Remember we talked with him early on, right? I brought him up. And I said, hey, I don't, this will be a little broken up because I was talking as some of this escalated a little more. But anyways, I said, hey, I don't like saying this because I didn't want to bring up drama, right? I said, but Charles started praising him. And honestly, I hear much more of this. I said, look, I can't deal with that. I said, I don't know. I said, I don't want to cause issues. I can't deal with that. I said, I don't want to associate with anyone who does that, which is true. And most sponsors don't want to, right? I said, I can't in good conscience even associate with someone who likes. I can't be streaming one day and randomly hear a blip of someone supporting him and be like, oh yeah, he's a team member and I love him. And this is true. If I am streaming and someone brings up Andrew Tate and that gets clipped, your stream gets canceled. Nintendo will block you. These are Nintendo tournaments. We're not playing by our rules. We are playing by Nintendo's rules. If Nintendo as a company hears this, they will cancel you. They will demonetize you. I know this because I've gotten other people demonetized. Um, by sending messages to them. I'm well aware. Well, actually, sorry, it wasn't me. It was a friend who was a previous past team member. But anyways, but I was involved in it and I took part. Anyways, it was due to extreme toxicity. And anyways, so I said, look, this needs to stop. I brought it to his attention. I said, I'm sorry, I can't deal with this. This is absolutely okay. I meant not okay. This was a typo. Absolutely not okay. And I said, well, make women feel incredibly uncomfortable. Dangerous territory, right? I said, he's trying to egg me on. He cussed me out. I said, I shouldn't have to deal with this, which is true. Why should I have to deal with someone cussing me out? Someone trying to silence me, trying to say, hey, don't talk to me. You're too much drama or whatever, when he is bringing up issues that will literally be bad for a company, right? And I said, look, he needs to apologize, he leaves, or I leave. I said, it's unacceptable to cuss out a captain trying to egg them on and bring up someone who's known to physically and verbally assault women. Yes, right? That's normal. I'm not threatening to leave an organization because, oh, you didn't paint it green like I wanted, or I wanted the colors black and white. Like, I'm not doing it for a petty reason. This is a very severe thing, right? This is promotion of a of a figure who is extremely misogynistic and is banned on all sorts of platforms and will bring your company down, right? So no response, and I figured, hey, he's probably asleep at work, whatever. I wanted to so I said, look, I'm sorry. I know you don't want to come home from work and see all this, right? And I said, I know you're putting a lot of effort. He's now ripping on people with mental health issues. Look into that. And look, and I said, I don't think it's healthy for an esports org trying to get sponsors to house someone who's supporting this. It looks really bad. He also cussed me out, and he trash talked people with mental health. I said I didn't bring this up before because I don't want to cause any issues, and so I went in, but the final thing that I went in there is there was a time, and so this one I don't have proof of. I have proof of everything else, but this one I don't have proof of because it happened in a public voice chat. There was a public voice chat we were playing, and I didn't bring this up earlier. I probably should have, but I didn't have any proof, and I just thought it was a one-up, right? And to be fair, it wasn't all his fault, but I still think it wasn't okay. There was a point where we were in the Pokemon Unite Reddit Discord voice, and we had someone who intentionally did bad in a game and then used a naughty no gamer word. And starts with F, ends in T. You can guess. And it was derogatory. And Charles responded by saying hard R N word. And I said, hey, maybe don't do that. Now I understand that it was retaliatory. It wasn't brought up out of nowhere, but still probably not okay and looks bad. You're representing your team, you're representing your org, and doing that in a public voice is not okay. Now, thankfully, no one else really heard it, but imagine if people did, or imagine if we were on stream, right? Imagine if we were streaming and that was broadcast. That would be terrible, right? Now, what I'm saying is when you're streaming, when you're broadcasting, you don't want people promoting any of this because that's how you get your stuff canceled. I'm trying to protect the company here. Now, keep in mind, the whole time while I'm doing this as a captain, I'm not getting paid for any of this. I'm not getting recognition. I'm not getting anything, right? I'm trying to maintain a roster. I'm trying to interview people. I'm trying to reach out. I'm trying to recruit. I'm trying to do, promote a schedule, everything. So, anyways, so I was told to open up a ticket. Sky said, "Hey, open up a ticket. We're gonna have a whole joint investigation." So they started up Juice, who is apparently part of multiple esports org stuff. He's part of Pro Liquid or whatever. So I'm like, oh hey, hey, someone who's deep. Maybe he'll try to do what's best here. And I had hope for the best here, but what I got, or honestly, was disappointing. But I'll get to that. So he said, hey, I just reread of a situation. I don't believe it's a reason for remove. Conflicts happen. I think it'd be beneficial to have a one-on-one with a mediator and discuss this further. And honestly, yeah, a one-on-one with a mediator to discuss this further. Hash things out. We shouldn't go extreme consequence on a first-time offense. Now, the problem, we can consider possible removal. So this is what I was told. Now, let's watch what happens after what I was told, because this is a blatant lie. Now, I'm not accusing Juice because I don't know what happened with the other members influencing, such as Sky and the other members, but let's see what happens. So I said straight up, I want it clear that Team AdUps, which is the team that I had under Oklahoma City Charge, said we won't tolerate the following: discussion of misogyny, discussion of anti-mental health, cussing out someone with an officer role, myself, right, or anyone. First off, just anyone. Just don't cuss out your team members, right? But that specifically, and continue ignoring when it's out to lunch. Now, as far as discussion of anti-mental health, I got to pull up the convo, but I have a screenshot. But basically, Charles says something along the lines of, it was really, really anti-depression. It was basically like, hey, people are too soft. They're too easy to cry nowadays. People just want to take a pill, like it will solve everything. And it's like, hey, we're going through a really big crisis right now in America with people with depression and people with, you know, um, who really are going through struggles. That just why bring that up? Why talk about it? We want to talk about a game. We want to talk about a video game. Have fun, like do well, right? Not talk about that. So anyways, so he said, can you send us the full conversation, please, and leave no context? I said I did. It's all there. I said I can't be streaming a tournament and have this stuff happen. It's getting repetitive, right? He said, we'll talk about keeping our opinions and beliefs to ourselves when we schedule the one-on-one. I said, I don't need people to keep their opinions and beliefs to themselves. I just need people to not promote hate speech. Say whatever opinions you have. If you say the sky is red, sure, like do it, like, all right, but just don't promote hate speech, right? He said, that's what keeping our opinions and beliefs to ourselves does. Okay, sure. But I'm like, look, I don't get what's so difficult to understand about, hey, this public figure's banned, like, don't talk about him, don't cuss me out, and don't promote anti-mental health. Don't say people are too soft and too, taking pills all the time and stuff. Just, if you believe that, sure, whatever, but, like, talking about that in a team chat is not okay. Sponsors want nothing to do with it. Recruits want nothing to do with it. It's going to make my hard my job harder to recruit, right? Then he said, we'll talk about that, blah, blah. I said, look, I'm doing all this stuff, recruitment, assessment, whatever. And I said, why don't I have the power when I'm team captain to say, hey, you cuss me out and promote a hate speech, get out. He says, look, I'm for bettering people not kicking to the curb because of one fight. This can be his one and final warning. And I said, look, I can agree to that. So let's recap. We said that we are going to have a mediator discussion, right? And once we have a mediated discussion, then we will give him his final warning, which I agreed to. I said, okay, I will be there. I will deliver the final warning. I had prepared. I had gotten all this information ready, so I could go over it and I could have, a productive conversation, try to go forward, try to just, mend bridges, whatever, and we'll have a mediator there. So that way an esports org can be there and confirm everything went as planned. Perfect. Wonderful, right? So, um, anyways, so I said, look, I just don't want any deflection or whataboutism. He says if he does that, it'll show no remorse or change. I'll be able to notice. This isn't my first team conflict. When it will be free? And so we discussed the time. So anyways, so Charles says, oh yeah, so this is where he says, soft, fragile men with fragile feelings. People rather sit and cry and take a pill instead of choosing to change for the better. And I'm like, what the hell? So, um, so anyways, um, if I can, so unfortunately, I have this saved as a TXT, um, because I bailed, I left. Um, so here, I'm gonna open up this TXT. This is my personal Discord. Um, but I'm going to open up this TXT because um this was the message. As you see, I just downloaded it, I copy pasted it. If you believe that this is edited, if you believe this is whatever, sure. Like I don't have any proof, right? But that I I've shown proof otherwise, right? But anyways, this is what went on. Good morning. We have come with a decision. Based on performance issues, accusations with the team regarding its leaders, members, as well as overall manner on how TA has behaved, we have decided it was best to discontinue the active TA project. What does this mean for the roster? All members are allowed to remain as players. New team will be embellished under initials. Out of respect for me for being the original owner of the team. That's not out of respect for me, by the well. Okay, I'm not going to put forceful words. I have b- belief that the reason was because they can't take the name Team Adepts because we had developed it and you would have lawful issues, right? So they're rebranding. I think that has nothing to do with respect for me so much as that. But that is my belief. I could be wrong, and I cannot put words there, right? We will not continue using the name AIM. Why have we come to this? When TA addressed this issues, it was brought many times that if we didn't follow demands, threat of team leaving was mentioned. So yeah, I left because of hate speech, right? Um, there was another time I believe I threatened to leave. I was um, a while back, and that was because of being really, really, really frustrated with the miscommunication and stuff. And whether or not that was acceptable is up for debate. I was really, really frustrated with how things were handling, and at the time I felt like leaving because I felt like I had all of this work I had to do, but was given nothing in return. It was like, hey, do all of this work as team captain, but you get no respect and you get no feedback, no communication. Um, etc. And I'll get to that in a bit. But anyways, but if that wasn't acceptable, hey, you can agree to that, right? But anyways, but the reason why I threatened to leave this time was because promotion of a figure that will get your org discredited, promotion of anti-mental health, saying that, you know, oh, people are just too depressed and take a pill, right? That looks bad, right? And then cussing out a team officer when telling you to stop about it, right? That's three things right there. Like, that's a big no-no, and I wanted someone removed because of it, and I was given no power. Oh, hey, go recruit people, go add people to the org, go seek people out, field talent, talk with them, but then you get nothing. You don't get any power to pass that. Oh, and make sure you update the logs and make sure you update our win-loss records and make sure you go over this. And also, if the team's not doing well, it's on you. But you can't make any adjustments. Like, what? So, anyways, so someone said who's threatened to leave, blah blah. Charles, to be honest, our team wasn't going anywhere. If this is the best, our quote-unquote captain stopped getting us scrims or entering tournaments. So that's also a blatant lie. A tournament was brought up by one of our members, Boot, on before, and on Monday we were going to go over it, see who could make it on Thursday, but then this whole thing happened, and I had to take a couple-day break because of all this, because this was beyond stressful and was whatever. And as far as scrims, I had several people messaging me about scrims. I sent them all to Sky because I said, hey, look, one, I'm just not going to handle that the best, but two, because we were still re-recruiting and rebuilding up. So it wasn't that I wasn't getting a scrims. I had several people I was getting scrims. I was just sending them to Sky and saying, hey, face the other team under this org, and then we'll face you when we get our roster more settled. That happened repeatedly. Anyways, so I called him out. I said blatantly untrue. Stop being a sociopath. And you know what? If people want to say that's a mean name call, sure. Um, so did I miss something? So I said stop gaslighting, stop blatantly lying. Okay, so this is where I get into the miscommunication of the staff and why I had really big issues. So remember that when I brought up the issues in the ticket. Let's see here. That we said that we were going to have a one-on-one conversation and it was going to be mediated and we were going to give him a final warning. That is not what ended up happening. So what ended up happening instead, what ended up happening instead is I said, hey, you around? Yes, sir. Meeting time was 17 minutes ago. You had me worried. What are we going to do? I was not informed that a meeting was not going to happen. I was not told that a meeting was canceled. I was not informed of anything. There was no communication. And then he just said, oh, he doesn't want to meet right here. Well, why was I not given any update, right, on this? He said he would rather focus on games and scrimmages than talk about something he's already agreed to. Okay, I didn't hear of any agreements. I was not told, right, as a captain bringing forth a very severe issue, right? Oh, but let's just focus on games. Well, that's what I wanted to do to begin with, but this is pretty significant. I've had conversations with him. I wasn't told anything, right? And he accepts that it's his final warning, and even recanted he doesn't necessarily agree with him. Accepts it's his final warning. I said, okay, I wish I was told about this. So to be clear, he understands. Final warning, no bringing up misogyny, no bashing mental health, no telling a team captain me or anyone STFU, whatever. He said he will agree to that, but he also said you cuss in voice chat, and I agree, blah, 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 and all that stuff. I said, yeah, I cuss all the time, but I don't cuss him out, right? This was brought up later. They said that, oh, but you still cuss him out all the time. I don't recall any time cussing him out. If I did on accident once, then shit, my apologies, right? But I don't recall that. If I did, my bad. But I said, like, I cuss like a sailor, but there's a very clear difference, and I brought this up between saying, hey, you know, you know, fuck, tonight sucked, or shit. There's a very clear difference between that and hey, fuck you, piece of shit. There's a very clear difference, right? Anyways, I did give him a final warning. I said, look, I'm not paid as a captain. I do this all for the betterment as a team. I said, I've invested what little I have to stream and stuff. I don't care. I said, I just want us to succeed. I don't want stupid drama. I said, I just want us to have fun, do well, enjoy each other's company. And I said, I make my stance clear. I don't care if people cuss, just don't cuss each other out, right? I said, look, in the future, I'd appreciate an update. I said, I've made myself available for this time, but I'm sure you're busy and things are easy to forget. And yeah, I said, yeah, I just got off work. So what ended up happening is we were supposed to have a mediated one-on-one conversation, right? And instead, they just talked with him in DMs, and then we're like, okay, cool. And I was given no update, no nothing. And then they're like, and so I sat around waiting for a meeting, waiting. Oh, it's not happening. That's not professional and not okay, especially when a team captain is seriously talking about, right, like very serious allegations of, promoting sexual harassment and promoting anti all that stuff, right? So all that stuff went on. Let's see here. So I said, let's see here. Let's see here. I said I did threaten to leave circumstantially or promoted hate speech, blah blah. And then Ju says, as captain in leadership position, there are better ways to go about things, though. So this is the thing. They're just like, oh, you're a captain. Why aren't you handling this better? Well, what was I supposed to do when we were supposed to have a meeting that never happened, and then I wasn't updated, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, by the way, and it's like, that's not okay. None of this is okay. Also, I didn't grab a screenshot of this, but in the ticket, I gave proof where Charles said, hey, um, I'm not on my final warning, lol, and stop DMing me. And uh, and so I brought that up to them in the ticket, and I'm like, hey, he still thinks he's not on a final warning, even though we agreed. So let's recap. We had in a ticket, oh, hey, we'll have a conversation together. Then, hey, we'll have a one-off, then, hey, we DM'd him, no conversation, but he did agree as a final warning. To now Charles is saying, oh, I'm just not on a final warning, I did nothing wrong, lol. Which, at this point, how am I supposed to feel respected as a captain for all my time and effort put in, right? And then they're saying, oh, but you're the bad guy for threatening to leave. Why wouldn't I? Like, this is not okay. This is not how an org runs. This is not how communication happens, right? So, anyways, and then they were like, oh, how dare you leak DMs? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to protect my ass because Charles has been trying to gaslight people. Anyways, um, and you know, look, these are biased people, friends, but look, this is obnoxious. Whoever these people are you partner with are hardcore just trying to steal from you. You're getting scammed. They've done nothing to help the team. They won't help you regulate or have any authority. They won't have you have any admin privileges for your own team. Matter of fact, what have they done that's helped you? Seems like everything has gone downhill since they came on. And this is exactly what it has to be a no tolerance policy. It creates nothing but chaos. Yeah, Zero should have been booted. You're never gonna have a cohesive team with this much drama and bullshit. And if you have the type of person who constantly argues authority figures in the team, reprimanded, then you aren't going to get work together anyone in a serious way. He's going to do what he wants to, and if these people are going to back him up, they aren't helping. I say good riddance. These people have caused you nothing but stress since you've joined, and they're actively trying to steal everyone you've recruited to make their own team. And this is exactly what happened. Thank you. This is one of my good friends, and yes, you can say that. Oh my God, I'm biased because I have a friend, right? But you know, and he's obviously going to take my side as a friend, right? But but honestly, what have they done? They said, "Oh, we'll get coaching," but then that didn't really happen. Which, okay, we had team roster issues, sure, but all of our members I brought on, all of our recruitment I brought on. I showed Sky how to make a Google Doc. I show and how to make a recruitment form. I taught them how to do that. They didn't know how to do that, and I showed the way. I told them how I go over recruitment, how I do interviews, how I talk with people, how I bring them on, how I manage. I showed them the Excel sheet that Zog made and programmed, and how to how we kept track of our roster and stuff. And all this stuff. And in my own in our previous team, we had like a bot and everything, a sign up and stuff. So and then that happens. So yeah, basically all of my hard work was taken. But then when I say, look, I have a very serious issue with a member that I'm captain of, which they called me captain of, right? Let's see here, because they called me captain. As captain, someone in leadership position, there are better ways to go about things. So okay, so if I'm a captain, right? Why can I recruit, but then not say this member is causing issues? He needs to be removed. He's not contracted. He's not employed. He's not paid. Get him out. Right? No respect for authority. And then I'm made out to be the bad guy. And then after all of this, post anything you like. I'll be bringing my lawyer for any defamation you add to our name. Well, let's open up Google. Definition of defamation. Slander, libel. Publishing a false statement that is damaging to a person's reputation. Has any of this been false? I said there was discussion of a public figure that is banned on all social media platforms. There was discussion of mental health, like anti-mental health, and I said that is bad for brand names, bad for deals. I want him gone. They said, we'll mediate it, give him a final warning, and talk. And then they gave me no updates, and then after giving me no updates, said, oh yeah, we handled it, and keep doing your work for us, and then got mad at me. And then said, why aren't you doing well as a captain? Your team isn't doing well. Well, I was trying to. And then how dare I defame them? Well, none of this was untrue. So you can sue me all you want. I'll get a public defender and defend my name. And you can have fun paying for the best lawyers ever. I'll have a public defender. I'm not, or represent myself, which I know, oh my God, you're shooting yourself in the foot. I don't care. I don't have money anyways. I'm poor. But honestly, all of this could have been avoided by just giving a bit of respect for the work and effort I put in. Because I tried. And if you want proof of me trying, yes, people didn't respond here in bumps, they responded in DMs. I got DMs, right? Well, I made a nice fancy posts. Look, we're looking for NA Master Tier laners. This is our time. We're relaunching, blah, blah. What we're looking for, dates, DMs, post here as well. And, I had, back before we merged, back before we merged, I made these visuals. These were off of a video I watched. These were off of a Sanji video. I didn't like come up with these plans, these strategies, but I made these in MS Paint. Took my own time. All right. And then we have a team comp page. We had a roster thing, but that got rid of. We had let's see here. We had a bot for signups and stuff, and all sorts of stuff. But I had associated server streams and everything. But yeah, but honestly, um, I merged with the org because I couldn't do all this on my own, and I needed help. I needed assistance. I needed more bodies, more members, more staff members, and so I merged with them. And what ended up happening was I was told to do work as a captain, but whenever I asked for a bit of help or a bit of backup, I had poor communication from staff, and then they got mad at me in return when I got upset. I told them that there was an issue, and it wasn't dealt with. So I'm going to say this. This is my statement that is not defamatory and not libelous, as law, because it is not a false statement. It is my personal belief that Oklahoma City Charge, while its staff members do not necessarily condone hate speech, by proxy are allowing it by having a member who has repeatedly been belligerent towards staff and repeatedly shown callous disregard for those in authority, promoting a lot of anti-health, like anti-mental health, anti-women, and other views. Also, as I said, also did say a big no-no N-word once in voice, but that I cannot substantiate. I don't have proof of that one. So if you don't believe me, you don't believe me. But that is three things, right? Anti-women, said the N-word in a public chat, right? And anti-mental health, right? So that's three big, huge hate stuff. And by knowing that he is in their org and keeping him and booting out the captain who has tried to remove him, I would say that my case is Oklahoma City Charge is by proxy promoting hate speech by allowing it and not getting rid of it. I would advise anyone to not associate with Oklahoma City Charge because I believe that is inexcusable and unacceptable. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I'll probably get back to streaming at some point under a different name, maybe an old name. We'll see. Take care. As a final thing, just from the start, all I wanted was a nice, fun group to go far with. But I wish things didn't end out this way.